Gonzo on the restart. Weaves his way, fires and scores.
We're going to attack, coming middle, trying to free himself
up, shot, score. Gets around Weed, off the bounce, shot and a score. Wow. Levine with some speed. Levine fakes a pass. Levine all the way is going to fire and score.
Up top, Druin.
He wants a shot and he's got it. Wow.
Meanwhile, Arbusto, one-handed shot is up and in. Got a penalty flag down.
Skip pass sets up the board, and it's time to pluck a chicken.
Black. But a good one-handed scoop up.
Roy, and he lights the lamp. Lowers that left shoulder and fires up the Cougar fans. Look at this.
Nice play.
Fake shot by Brunzik, and then he drills it on his way to the ground. Chase, extra feed, shot, score, game over.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome here to Bedford. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you, getting set for our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week between the Bishop Guertin Cardinals and the Bedford Bulldogs, a rematch of last year's NHIAA Division I State Championship game. A game won by Bishop Guertin by a final score of 15-12. Since then, these two teams have been at 1-2 in the coaches' poll. BG, of course, in search of their fifth straight state championship. They have not lost against an in-state opponent since the 2019 state championship game. That is their young head coach, Brian Cameron, son of longtime former head coach and now assistant, Chris Cameron. And, of course, on the other sideline, Steve Gaudreau, his first season here with the Bulldogs after spending years at Pinkerton Academy. So, Roger, both these teams, 4 wins under their belt already, both with an out-of-state opponent loss as well. Overall, Cardinals 4-1, Bulldogs are 4-2. So they've tested themselves early, and now finally, after a lot of hoopla, meet on the first day of May.
Yes, and Bedford has been beaten twice by out-of-state team, Hingham and Longmeadow, and Longmeadow is over in Derry tonight playing Pinkerton. So we're seeing a lot of this, and I think it's great. It's not just Division I that we're seeing, teams coming from across the border and playing New Hampshire teams, and Bishop Guertin will have their second out-of-state contest on Saturday, going down to Staples in Connecticut. So always good to see. We can tell that the talent in this state is making a statement in other states, and they're willing to conjoin schedules and make room for us, no matter what division you're talking about.
You mentioned the talent on the rosters. Well, how about a combined 12 NCAA commits between these two teams? So quite a showcase on this turf field tonight.
Yeah, it spoils. The riches are flowing in a lot of these teams, and as we venture into the season and we do more games, and I get to talk to coaches and things like that, I'm pleasantly surprised by the commits we're seeing across the board. Locally here, Riviere's getting a lot of New Hampshire talent. Southern New Hampshire, obviously St. Anselm's is getting, Max Fowler from Derryfields. He played a big part in the game last night against Bentley. So we're seeing that talent across the board going to college and playing lacrosse.
And having success as well.
For sure.
Bishop Guertin, we saw them opening night. It was 3 weeks ago or so now, down at St. John's, where they fell to St. John's Prep 13-5. Since then, this young team has rebounded and strung together 4 straight wins, 3 of those coming on the road. A 14-8 impressive victory at Exeter, a blowout win over much improved Merrimack 16-3, and then at Wyndham 17-3. Their home opener was a 21-4 win over Concord. Bedford 2-0 out of the chute, win at Dover, and then at Exeter. We broadcasted that game. You could watch it under our video section, the archive. First loss came at Hingham, as you mentioned. That was one-sided, 19-1. They did rebound with a win at South, 20-8, but then we're on the wrong end of a 15-9 final here at Bulldog Stadium against Massachusetts Power Longmeadow. They rebound their last time out with an 18-3 dominant victory over Wyndham. So both teams, we know they can win. A lot of those kids from last year's state championship affair back this year, Roger, and those are some of the names you wrote down for players to watch tonight.
Yeah, I turning into a stat geek, and not sure I like it because I didn't like math in high school, but it's starting to get to me, and I was mildly surprised to find out that 5 out of the 6 goal scorers for Bishop Guertin in that final last year are still on this team. It all starts with Mike Ponto. He had 5 goals and an assist last year in that game against Bedford. Owen King had 3 goals. Dubois had 2. Jeremy Warren had 1. And Cam Hayden, who I feel he's going to Penn State. He's the workhorse on this team. He's a big kid. He found his way in that St. John's Prep game. They keyed in on him. They put the pole on him quite often at midfield. But they got firepower. They're not missing anything tonight, from that game last year. And, of course, Bedford shows up with Brody Helton and Bennett Matthews and Luke Purnell. So it's going to be an interesting contest to see how these two teams have matured since last year.
All right. Usually the case, Roger, when two teams are evenly split talent-wise, it comes down to what exactly? What are keys that we should watch for tonight?
Yeah, I definitely think the Bulldogs have got the advantage in the net. Ethan Kahn has shown me already this year that he has come a long way even from his successes last year. I'd like to see him pick up a little bit more on the clear and be a little more mobile. But Jonah Feliciano still finding his way, in my opinion. He did not look really sharp in that first game against St. John's Prep, but first game of the year, he's seeing 100-mile-an-hour shots from guys that are going on to D1 teams. Definitely goaltending. And let's see if Riccio can match, at least slow down Paulo at the face-off circle.
Yeah. Gorgeous night for a game. 71 degrees, a little bit of a breeze. And the community here at Bedford has turned out a lot of red and white to our left up here on the roof of the press box. Many of them students. And the parking lot still buzzing behind us outside of Bulldog Stadium as well. Of course, it's about a 20-minute or so drive, a short drive up Route 3 for the Cardinal fans. They have turned out to our right in green and white.
Well, yeah, if you're a Nashua person, if you're from south of the border or wherever else they're drawing fans from these days down there, they'll be here. Let's put it that way. It's not the drive that's going to keep them away.
Yeah, it should be about probably a 60-40 split.
Yeah.
In the end, when we factor it in. But either way, one of the bigger crowds we are going to see this season already starting to formulate. All right, when we come back, starting lineup, national anthem, and then the face-off at the bottom of the hour. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school varsity and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another athletic program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
A junior, number 1, Owen King. Started midfield, a junior, number 6, Camden Hayden. Started defense, a senior, number 8, Colin Foley. Starting at defense, a sophomore, number 13, Andre Steinbruick. Starting attack, a senior, number 14, Michael Ponto. Starting midfield, a junior, number 17, Tyler McLeod. Starting defense, a senior, number 18, Noah Guerrera. Starting the goal for Bishop Guertin, a junior, number 19, Jonah Feliciano. Starting attack, a senior, number 22, Jeremy Warren. And starting at midfield for BG, a senior, number 25, Paulo Vasquez. The head coach for Bishop Guertin is Brian Cameron, assisted by Chris Cameron and Luke Solms. Now let's meet the starting lineups for the Bedford High School Bulldogs. Starting attack, a sophomore, number 1, John Purnell. Starting attack, a senior, number 2, Evan Capello. Starting attack, a senior captain, number 3, Luke Purnell. Starting midfield, a sophomore, number 5, Dylan Riccio. Starting defense, a senior, number 7, Kobe Boyd. Starting the goal for Bedford, a junior, number 12, Ethan Kahn. Starting defense, a sophomore, number 16, Will Frangelo. Starting defense, a senior captain, number 18, Brian Riccio. Starting midfield, a junior captain, number 19, Brody Helton. And starting defense for Bedford, a freshman, number 21, Teddy Lapointe. Tonight's officials are Tim McCaffrey, Brian Murphy, and Stephen Small. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you now to stand as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Well, there it is, the national anthem setting the tone here at Bulldog Stadium in Bedford as we get set to rock and roll. Bishop Guertin and Bedford, the top two teams in the latest coaches poll, and a rematch of last year's state championship affair. BG at 4-1 overall, Bedford at 4-2. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe, 70-degree night. Three of the state's better officials on the scene to officiate this one. Tim McCaffrey, Brian Murphy, and Steve Small. You see the starters set to meet at midfield.
Yeah, and we're going to see Bedford playing another out-of-state team. I wanted to tag along with what we had said pre-game there, Westford on Saturday. So BG ends up with Bedford's going to be playing Andover after their in-state game with Concord after that. So they've got 4 out-of-state games within their first 7 or 8 games, all being played out of state. So hand it to Coach Gaudreau and the Bulldogs for really aggressively, going out there and trying to match what teams like BG and Exeter have been doing, as well out there.
Bedford in their home whites will look to score right to left in this first quarter. Bishop Guertin in their own road, green and gold. At the face-off X, Bedford sophomore Dylan Riccio. Square off against one of the state's best, senior Paulo Vasquez, headed to UMBC, but it's the young Riccio who gets the first one for Bedford. Face-off to the Bulldogs, and now All-State watch list candidate Brody Helton escorts the ball over the line, and Bedford's going to set up here on the attack.
Yeah, if you recall, in last year's in-season game, Paulo made that face-off, or got that face-off right off the start, and went right down and scored on that.
That's right.
And that was the difference in the game. We would not have seen overtime if he had not popped that in.
That was an exciting regular season game down at Stello Stadium that ended up as an OT win for BG. Final score there was 13-12. Meanwhile, trying to weave his way through is Purnell. Shot never quite got through cleanly. As it bounces out of play behind the cage, Bedford set for a restart.
Yeah, I was sitting in a little cocktail lounge in Punta Cana, if you recall, or Punta Cana.
That's right.
Watching that game, yelling and screaming. There it is.
Yeah, shot
that's
knocked down. Did it go over the line? The officials say score.
Absolutely.
Bedford going to celebrate as John Purnell, sophomore, younger brother of Luke, the senior, able to swim through it. Looked like, Roger, two defenders and score that one on his way to the turf.
Yes, and he fought hard to break through this crunch right here on the goal line, and just got a weak shot in. But Jonah just looked back at it. That's all he could do.
Did look like Jonah Feliciano got a piece of it, but the BG junior couldn't prevent that ball from just going over the line. Meanwhile, Vasquez gets revenge at the face-off X, winning here for Bishop Guertin, and now the Cardinals on offense for the first time. That's the young head coach and former BG player, high school All-American Brian Cameron, in a spot he's not used to being in. His squad trailing here early, just over a minute gone by, 1-0. Meanwhile, trying to muscle up top with nowhere to go is BG starter Michael Ponto. He was spectacular in that championship game. Meanwhile, this one comes from the wing, and score it for Beau Dubois, senior, headed to Lemoyne. He's another watch list candidate for All-State. He ties the game at 1 here.
Well, great trail check by Brody Helton there, but they just didn't get on the ball quick enough, and he pops right back on it. Pretty simple play there.
So Dubois makes it 1-1. 2 goals combined through the first 95 seconds.
Another good check.
Vasquez's pass goes high. May have been hit on the release. Ball flies out of bounds, turned over to Bedford.
Good late check there by Riccio. Right on his backhand. Good timing.
That's Brian Riccio, the long pole senior defenseman. Now Bedford working on the clear, knocked down. Trying to find it is BG long pole Tyler McLeod. He's knocked down. Shot ends up behind the cage. Cardinals still have it. Matthews in the mix for Bedford, trying to disrupt. Got Matthews there as well. But in the end, BG hits the reset button safely as Hunter Duaney finds some safe space near midfield. 2 minutes in, 1-1. Cardinals looking for their first lead early in a matchup of perhaps the 2 best teams in the state.
This is what I said pregame about Ethan Kahn. He's got to be more diligent in his clearing game, and he's got to create opportunities, not be lazy throwing clearing passes that can be picked off like that. This team is too good for that.
Meanwhile, Dubois draws a slide. The shot again kind of jammed. Good defensive effort by Colby Boyd there for Bedford to deny what could have been a cleaner look for Cam Hayden.
Yeah, this is the matchup I want to see tonight from the Bulldogs on Cam Hayden. They need a big body on him. Can't put Teddy LaPointe 21, the LSM, on him. You got to let Cam Boyd work him in.
Here's Hayden. He's got now John Purnell on him. Or no, I'm sorry, that is Colby Boyd.
Yeah,
the long pole. 2-man game now.
You can see right there that Nick. You can see that the Cardinals were trying to get a switch on Cam right there.
Owen King
and they
draws
did.
the slide, and there's the open man. Cam Hayden on the doorstep. Cardinals take the lead with just over 3 minutes gone by first quarter.
Yeah, you could see that the Cardinals were trying to line up Cam so he could shake Boyd. And not only did he not shake Boyd, and Boyd came with him, Boyd kind of sloughed off here, and it left Cam wide open for the Owen King pass. You see, yeah, he tried to slide cross crease. Can't do that with Cam. He's a big body. Good play by the Cardinals.
So the Penn State commit puts the visitors out in front for the first time. Meanwhile, 3 straight now face-off wins for Vasquez. And the Cardinals look to ride the momentum. This is Jeremy Warren, one of 2 Warrens on the club, Jackson and Jeremy. Jeremy's the senior, Jackson the sophomore. Now Owen King going to tiptoe the sideline here. Looks for a screen, picked up off the switch. The defender now is Dylan Riccio. Slide comes, open shot, a bouncer is wide. Good step down from up top there for Hudson Schmidt, junior midfielder.
You watch the newcomer here on the field.
Again, it's King against Will Frongillo. Sophomore has been impressive defensively early in the season for Coach Gaudreau. 4 minutes gone by, first quarter, 2-1 BG. Little shake and bake, goal line extended.
Oh.
Bouncing shot is good low. Score it for Sean McGarry, the junior. Pretty good one-on-one move there, Roger, and then the bouncer comes down by the ankle. BG's got a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, they got to be a little more aggressive here when they get the goal line extended. And that's not a real good matchup with Dylan Riccio against that body. But no slide either, so, Bulldogs going to wake up here a little bit. Very late slide.
3 straight goals by BG. Meanwhile, Riccio was behind the back after winning the face-off, but that ball's now in play in front of the 30-yard line. Bedford gets to it. Teddy LaPointe, good hustle. And there's the clear a couple of passes later. Evan Capello. I'm going to fish it deep behind the cage, and now it's Purnell. John Purnell.
Wide open.
Up top, Bryce Durso, shot and score. Defense not quite set. It's Bryce Durso who takes advantage. That Bedford goal breaks up 3 straight by BG, and it pulls the Bulldogs back within 1.
Yeah, that first game that we did with the Bulldogs in Exeter, Bryson Durso was just firing away. I think he might have had 3 goals that night, and this kid just he's got it. He knows where to fire, and he's got good pinpoint accuracy too. But he was wide open there.
3-2 Cardinals. It's been an offensive onslaught here the first 4+ minutes. Meanwhile, Vasquez is going to belly flop to keep that one alive, and it's picked up by his teammate Hunter Duaney, who spins away from 2 Bulldogs to get that clear. Duaney finally forced to give it up, and now Jeremy Warren takes over, goal line extended.
Little mixing up of the Fogo with Teddy LaPointe there that time, Nick.
Was it LaPointe?
Yeah,
okay.
I believe so.
Teddy, the young freshman, getting his first turn at X. Meanwhile, Cam Hayden finds King. King closed out. Makes a move. Back to the cage. Quick sneaky shot denied. And there's the first save for junior goaltender Ethan Kahn for Bedford. Kahn going to leave the circle. And again, against this vaunted Cardinal ride, which has already forced 1 turnover. Kahn still in the mix.
There it is.
Short little pass. Durso bobbles, but then scoops knee high at midfield. Bedford does get the clear. Up ahead, John Purnell. Behind the cage to Luke Purnell. Near side wing, shot and a save upstairs. Beautiful stop by Feliciano. Ground ball, though, belongs to Matthews for Bedford.
Yeah, that was a good save.
First one for Feliciano, able to wave the wand in time to preserve the lead, at least for the moment. 3-2 Cardinals as we hit the midway point first quarter. Now Brody Helton's going to take a breath at midfield. One of Bedford's best all-around athletes going to come downhill here. Draws a slide, hooks up with Matthews. Matthews, good swim move, and then a shot and a score. Over the shoulder of Feliciano. Bedford has come back to tie the game. It's the first for the junior Bennett Matthews, and the Duke commit is going to celebrate with his teammates after tying the game at 3.
Well, this is one of the things that I was thinking about talking pre-game about, and that was were we going to see more defense or offense? But clearly, this is not something that I thought we'd see within the first
6 minutes.
6 minutes.
A combined 6 goals between these two teams.
Exactly.
So the firepower has been on display to start. Meanwhile, Vasquez hacked that from behind, lost it. It's the long pole for Angillo to the ground ball rescue for Bedford. And now Kahn again set to aid on the clear attempt.
This is where I want to see Ethan come upfield and be aggressive. Force 2-on-1s on the corner. Make guys play them right like this.
Going to float a pass near side, handled by Boyd. Boyd now back to the middle.
Now you got an opening.
That
Throw it.
Clock is ticking, and that pass ends up in the Bedford bench.
Yeah,
was it deflected is the question. It was not. Ball turned over to BG.
Yeah, and he had an open midfielder there. He didn't have to go to the attackman. Or, excuse me, he had Boyd open up over there.
Well, now it's Feliciano's turn as he exits the cage. Long pass for Ponto, who's open at midfield. He's going to accomplish the objective there. We head towards the 5-minute mark first quarter. Cardinals looking for the lead back. Bedford has scored the last 2. The game is tied at 3. Here is Ponto. He had 5 goals in that championship effort a year ago when BG beat Bedford 15-12. Ponto spin, duck, trying to shake off the defender. That's Trevin Abendroth, who's all over him. Finally, a little bit of separation, and there's the shot and score. Michael Ponto just biding his time there, Roger, with the ball. Finally got a little bit of space to pull the trigger, and it's a good effort.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch that matchup. Bedford may not have enough numbers on defense to cover all these Cardinals that can, shoot and score on these plays, but really not a lot of help there either. So good shot by Michael Ponto.
First goal for Ponto. 7 combined goals, 7 different goal scorers, but balanced both ways. Vasquez wins again. Pass upfield for McGarry. And after McGarry is forced to regroup, BG is going to restart with Bo Dubois taking over. Coach Cameron going to adjust here. A couple of subs coming on. Now it's Ponto. Going to jog his way along the far wing. Wants a one-on-one with Dylan Riccio. Going to lower the shoulder, trying to overpower Riccio. Forces a bouncer off the pole. That one off the pipe, and now a whistle is going to give it over to Bedford. Perhaps a push there somewhere in that scuffle. Long outlet over the head of the target. There's Luke Purnell on the bounce. Up the field, Matthews met with a hit. Falls down and scores anyway. Oh, Bennett Matthews came at full speed there, collided with the defender, and then on the way to the ground, Roger, he was able to sweep it in for his second goal.
Great clear by the Bulldogs here. They find a cross-field pass, and they get it into Bennett, and he gets stood right up, but he does almost a Aiden Drunzik type of shot from a couple of years ago from that same spot as he's falling down. Great effort.
4-4, we go back and forth. Matthews, the first player on either team to score a second goal. Now again, BG hungry for the lead. King going to bring Boyd with him all the way out. Now it's Hayden. Dubois. Dubois looks to split dodge. Takes a hit, stays on his feet, circles around.
Cardinals are doing a good job of keeping the offense spread out to really eliminate any good, clear.
There's a double team. Hit by Matthews, and now I think like Warren wanted a whistle. Somehow the pass ends up in front, and there's Sean McGarry to the rescue.
Wow.
McGarry able to pull that one in a crowd, release it in a crowd. Paid the iron price as well as he was hit pretty well. 5-4 BG after some rough and tumble action at this end.
Yeah, I was trying to say a slide here, and I thought the slide was coming in time, but then it got negated by this quick pass to him in a crowd between 3 Bulldogs.
So McGarry has looked good. His second goal comes with just over 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. Violation against Bedford. Riccio too early. Vasquez stays on, got a shot off. He goes down, and now there's a late flag. Well, the Fogo lost his helmet on the hit, and one of the trail officials, I think, threw the flag at that point. It's the game's first penalty.
Going to go with Hilton on this one?
It's Bedford Jr. Brody Helton, who is jogging over to the penalty box.
Yeah, illegal body check for one, so nothing to the head.
So the game's first EMO comes here with the Cardinals, already in front 5-4. BG trying to equal their largest lead from earlier when they were out in front 3-1. Meanwhile, almost losing the ball there was Hayden, lost his balance. BG recovers, around the horn it goes. Dubois dodges to the right, thought he had a shooting angle, did not. King, meanwhile, took his eye off the ball. Has to hustle to keep it in bounds here on the near sideline. There's the cutter, there's the shot, there's the save. Hayden, a sweeping attempt from the wing. Pretty close range. Kahn, his third save in this first quarter. And the Bulldogs do a nice job on the clear. Here's Matthews. Backdoor cut, shot, scoop,
beautiful.
and score for Luke Purnell. Well, Purnell, an impressive pull in there. As that pass a little behind him, able to spin and then kind of scoop it for Bedford's fifth goal.
And this is a shorthanded goal for the Bulldogs. After that mishap by the Cardinals on the pass, they turn it over, and they get it up on a really, really good clear for the Bulldogs. Really nice clear and way to find the open man.
Able to beat Feliciano up close. Tie the game at 5. Back and forth affair here in the first quarter in front of a large crowd here at Bulldog Stadium. Two of the state's premier programs meeting here. BG, a lot on the line. They have not lost to an in-state opponent since the 2019 championship game when they were defeated by Pinkerton. Since then, 4 straight D1 titles. Bedford, of course, as close as anybody has come. 3-goal loss last year in the championship affair.
And a 1-goal loss during the season in
Right.
overtime. It's really been the 2 top teams in the state for the last couple of years.
Final 90 seconds, first quarter. Cardinals want the lead. Step down shot, saved by Kahn. Read it the whole way. Dubois from about 15 yards. Kahn has been tested early. And now Kahn again.
No.
Looks to help on the clear. Long pass, too high for Helton. Taken away by BG's McLeod. Into the middle it goes. Ponto for McGarry. King, shot and score. Tic-tac-toe there. Finished off by Owen King, his first goal. The junior on his way to Lemoyne, celebrating a 6-5 BG lead.
Yeah, like I keep saying, this is if there's any
Goal by number 1, Owen King.
weak part of Ethan's game, it's his clearing, and this surfaces in times like this where you got really good riding team like the Cardinals that are just going to press ride you to death as they have always done, and you cannot make missed passes like that.
Well, Riccio sideline for the moment. It's Teddy LaPointe in on the face-off for Bedford. Neither team able to secure it. This one's kicked, and then a big hit is going to draw a flag. Durso went flying, lost his stick, has something to say to Vasquez, who applied the hit.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I think this one is going to go against Bishop Guertin.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see what the call is. Trip.
No argument.
Oh, another illegal body check. Nick.
Came with the elbow. No argument from Vasquez, who immediately headed to the penalty box.
So they're going to have to press on this one because there's less than a minute. And if they don't have any success, they better hold the ball.
Final 45 seconds. First EMO for Bedford. Quick passing along the perimeter. BG going to come out and challenge. Luke Purnell's open.
Oh.
Now it's Matthews off the corner, dropped it. He was
Holding.
pushed or held, I guess.
Yes, he's held.
John Paul Dunsmore. So Bedford will restart with 29 on the clock.
There
Matthews
it is.
finds the man in the middle. Shot knocked down. Dunsmore got a piece of the John Purnell attempt. And it's Dunsmore out of a crowd for Bishop Guertin. Absorbs one check and then crosses midfield. Dunsmore is still in control. Up for Ponto, a one-hand scoop. Going to recircle. Look to kill off the final seconds of this first quarter. with his team out in front 6-5. So Bishop Guertin on the road here in Bedford. So far, so good for the defending D1 champs. A 6-5 lead on the board as we head to the second quarter. Right back to Bulldogs Stadium in a moment. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
First quarter in the books here in Bedford. Bishop Guertin leading the Bulldogs by a score of 6-5 here in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. Week number 3 statewide, and these two teams, to nobody's surprise, are at the top of the coaches poll. That can be found at our friend Joe Marcialana's website, nh-highschoolsports.com. Offensive explosion so far, Roger, through 12 minutes.
Yeah, everybody that's keeping a card on this is going to need extra space in their scorebook, because it looks like it's going to be a long night for breaking pencils and erasers and all that stuff, because it's been a long time since I ran out of room in the first quarter on my card. But I'm impressed with both teams right now. The way they're pushing the ball, the way they're finding the openings. Clears need to get cleaned up on the Bedford side. Bishop Guertin hasn't had to really clear anything, because they're winning face-offs, and Bedford's putting the ball in the net when they have their possession. So there's not a lot of opportunities for their team to clear, but they're going to get the ball here.
One lopsided category from that first quarter was the face-off.
We just need to put that on a reel, just a continuous reel for Paulo and his ability to just dominate at the face-off X. That we've been talking about that for 3 years now.
He's been a big part of the success of the Cardinals since he got there. Now a senior on his way to
nice
UMBC.
play.
Meanwhile, this one,
they're going to go to McGarry.
Let's see.
And they're going to give slash to Boyd by the looks.
That's exactly right. McGarry's going to have a first-half hat trick as he cashes in just 5 seconds into this second quarter. And Roger, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's an EMO goal for BG. No, it's a shorthanded goal.
12 seconds was it was 48 seconds, so it would have been 12 in. So yeah, you're right.
Shorthanded goal for McGarry.
Yeah,
his third of the game.
So each team have a man down goal while having an EMO advantage.
That's right. Luke Purnell, they were shorthanded as well.
Yeah, you don't see that very often in lacrosse. You really don't.
Vasquez has now won 9 of the 11. Right?
No,
or 11 of the 13.
There was no face at the start of this quarter, but he's got 11.
That's right. Okay, so 11-2.
Yeah,
has been the advantage he's given Bishop Guertin.
Yeah.
That has translated to a 7-5 lead on the scoreboard. Meanwhile, Bedford is shorthanded here, Roger.
Yeah, they're still
with Colby Boyd still in the box.
Yeah, he's in there for the slash.
So danger time for the home team. Meanwhile, McGarry lets it fly. That one came out a little awkwardly there. Good pressure by the defender, Brian Riccio, but as we get another look, didn't leave the head quite cleanly, or did it?
No, you hit it right on the head there. He's feeling it, though. He's got 3 goals, so why not shoot?
BG has led most of the way so far in this first half. It was Bedford who scored with just over a minute gone by. John Purnell made it 1-0. Cardinals responded with a 3-0
Save.
run. Meanwhile, save number 5 for Ethan Kahn. The junior makes that one over the shoulder and gets the outlet pass out quickly.
Well, that's one way to clear up your clearing game, and it's give it to Bennett Matthews and have him just chug it out. Nothing wrong with that.
Matthews going to roll this back for Evan Capello. Bedford open to cut the Cardinal lead in half.
This is what we need to start calling right here, number 19.
Brody Helton has not scored yet. Going to go to one hand to try that one, but Feliciano saw it the whole way. Second save in net for the junior goaltender, Jonah Feliciano. A long outlet pass here by Andreas Steinbrueck gets through. One man in the middle, step down shot, knocked down for Hayden. Kahn leads the cage in a foot race and almost won it, but King was there in the end for Bishop Guertin.
Well, from up here, it looked like he won it.
Near side, Ponto on a spin move. Bodied up by Riccio. Step down shot, whizzes over the crossbar. Pretty good look there for Cam Hayden from about 12 yards out.
Yes, indeed, and I don't like the matchup here. So watch number 6, Cam Hayden against Teddy.
Hayden scored in that first quarter, and now here he is up top.
All right, now they get the switch with
That's Abendroth.
Abendroth.
Skip pass near side, McGarry giving room, and then nobody home. Ponto turned his head. Hayden going to have to hustle to get to it, and does, just in front of Coach Gaudreau and the Bedford sideline.
Coach Gaudreau is liking what he's seeing right now on defense, pumping him up.
Dubois.
They're in zone.
McGarry had to lean to pull that one in overhead. Dubois near side, McGarry. Closed out well again by Riccio.
Bedford in the 3-3 zone here, Nick, and it's making it tough on the Cardinals to find the seam, and it's over and back, so good pressure by the Bulldogs here.
An errant pass sent Bo Dubois scrambling. Ball ends up at the feet of first-year head coach Brian Cameron, who's not pleased. So a rare Cardinal turnover. Bedford open to capitalize. Capello is hunted down and nearly lost it. Helped out by John Purnell, who fans it behind the cage for Luke Purnell. Purnell trying to dodge to his right, going to jog it out and get some room. Goal line extended on that far side. Just over 3 minutes gone by, second quarter. Bedford trailing 7-5. Bulldogs poking and prodding here, Roger, but pretty good defensive effort on this possession for BG.
Well, they're trying to get Bennett Matthews face guarded a little bit and out of the play.
Is broken up out in front and taken away.
That's a good check. It's not. Oh, I don't like this call at all.
Two different officials throw the flag. It's on Bedford. Meanwhile, in transition, BG trying to hurry. Across the cage, shot knocked down by Kahn. Loose ball. Kahn trying to stamp out the fire. Does draw the whistle.
A good save by Ethan. I don't like this call because he got all stick, and just because the guy falls, it doesn't make it a trip. So watch, it's a stick check. Might have caught him on the
way down.
On the way down, but I don't know about the initial contact. So that's going to go on Purnell.
That's Luke Purnell. And the senior not too pleased in the penalty box. Second Bedford penalty. Cardinals 0 for 1 on the EMO. Chance to take their largest lead here. A 3-goal advantage perhaps on the way with 4 minutes gone by second quarter.
Great save by Ethan on that series, though,
yeah,
to stop the play.
And then deny a rebound. Hayden fakes the pass, curls around and scores top shelf. That was pretty. Cam Hayden, his second, lights the lamp on the EMO to make it 8-5 BG.
Yep. This is one of the guys you got to watch, and got to watch him even more when it comes to man-up offense. Yeah, he kind of creeps on in there, and Boyd's a little late, goal line extended. Big guy, big arms, long reach, hard to cover.
Junior committed to Penn State, and you're starting to find out why. A crafty move there, almost an impossible shooting angle on that wraparound. Meanwhile, BG trying to secure another face-off. Helton comes in hard to apply the hit, but it is absorbed by Hunter Duaney.
Another
near
good check.
side. Vasquez trying to dive for it. Ground ball loose. A lot of hitting here at midfield. Now Bedford a shot at it, and there is Helton to the rescue. Bulldogs need a goal. They're going to get a timeout instead.
All right, probably a good one.
Nearly 5 minutes in second quarter. Coach Gaudreau with his club trailing 8-5, hoping to draw something up. Our broadcast brought to you by Beals Insurance, locations in both Bedford, Londonderry, and now Epping as well. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. Also by MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. And finally by the New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Find out more at nhtomahawks.com and also girls.nhtomahawks.com. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance. So far, Roger, back and forth. BG, though, over the last few minutes, starting to pull away a little bit. An 8-5 lead here as we near the midway point second quarter.
Yeah, one of the other keys to the game that I was going to mention is the defenses. We're not seeing the same type of size and aggressiveness on the Bulldogs side this season as we did last year with that group of three that were close defenders that were just plain old nasty. And the same thing with BG and their defenders from last year. What I have noticed in this game already that I in the back of my mind, I took away from the St. John's Prep game at the very beginning of the season was BG has always been just amazingly aggressive on the ride and on their defensive coverage. Just you can't move a muscle and not get something done, with the BG Cardinals. And they didn't show that at St. John's Prep, and they're showing that tonight. And this is what's going to be another key to the game is that Bedford's got to do what they're doing right now. They got to control the ball, keep it out of BG's hands, and get the momentum going their way with a couple of goals here.
Here's Helton. Out of the timeout, comes off the pick, fires a shot that's well wide.
And that's not his strong side. He needs to be coming from the goalie's right side from the top of the key, and he needs to be cutting through to the middle, not from the goalie's left side.
Well, and again, to BG's credit, they have contained him so far in this first half. Matthews has 2 goals of his own. He's
nice
looking
move.
for an open target. He had Purnell, but he can't quite reel it in out in front. And it's taken away by the Cardinals' Hunter Delaney.
Great look by Bennett on that to Luke, and Luke does not usually not handle something like that right on the doorstep.
Long pass. That's a good outlet. Pass on the money, fired by Feliciano.
Yeah, good pass by Jonah. Give him that.
And Jack Redfern and Hunter Schmidt are going to converse here just outside the 40-yard line. Midway through second quarter. Cardinals led briefly 1-0. Trailed briefly 1-0. Bedford scored the first goal, but since then, BG has either played with the lead or we've been tied. Largest
wide
lead is
open
on the board now. King shot and score. The Lemoyne commit goes low for goal number 2, and it's 9-5 Cardinals.
Okay, I hope we're not going to make a trend out of me having to say the same thing over and over again tonight, but there's the defensive flaw right there. Backside guy wide open. And Schmidt just needs to give him a little lofty pass. Nothing fancy, not even a skip pass through the box. He's wide open.
Seemed like a breakdown there defensively for Bedford.
Clearly, yeah, there was a big cluster right in front of Ethan Kahn.
Vasquez, another face-off win. Up to McGarry. Quick shot and score. He goes 5-hole. Kept that one low to beat Kahn. It dribbles between the legs. And just like that, just 6 seconds after the previous goal by King, we get Sean McGarry's 4th. Cardinals going to force another Bedford timeout as they take a 10-5 lead.
Yeah, you almost have to call timeout here. You cannot afford to let this thing get away from you and have a score doubled up with you that quickly into the second quarter with tons of time left on the clock. We got a half a quarter left to play here, and things are starting to go downhill for the Bulldogs.
Meanwhile, McGarry starting to separate himself here. 4 goals, 2 in the first quarter, 2 so far here in the second as well.
Yeah, and this is just a defensive breakdown right now. And they're going to figure a way out to start getting themselves disciplined. They were having some success there in the set offense by going zone and forcing the Cardinals to try and find some seams out there, and they were making mistakes. And we had an unforced turnover here in that last sequence before these 2 goals, bang bang. But Bulldogs have got battened down. They got to figure it out.
What's going on in the BG huddle? Got to be psyched up 10-5 here.
Just keep doing what you're doing, boys. I mean, if I'm Coach Cameron, Coach Brian Cameron over there, I'm getting them pumped up, and you guys just keep banging away. This is your probably going to be your toughest in-state game, and we're only 4 or 5 games in. So yeah, ride this as high as you can as a Cardinal right now.
10-5 BG, just past the midway point of this second quarter. The momentum has swung the Cardinals' way as they have now scored 5 straight. The game was tied at 5 with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Since then, a BG barrage. Violation against Bedford gives the Cardinals possession. Someone broke a stick behind the play. Here's a bouncing shot and score for Bo Dubois. Well, we mentioned the Lemoyne commit Owen King a moment ago. How about the Lemoyne commit Bo Dubois? He's got 2 goals now, and the run continues for the Cardinals.
Yeah, bad sequence there for Dylan, and he breaks his stick after losing the face-off, has to come off the field, get a late defensive change up there, and Dubois puts it right home right afterwards. So
3 goals, Roger, in 20 seconds.
Yeah, we haven't seen that probably a good long time.
Face off. A lot of bodies on the turf here near side. Matthews takes that bounce about chest high and secures it for Bedford. It's going to be a face-off win for the home team.
Yeah.
Offense needs to get to work. They've been scoreless here in this second quarter. Coming up in 5 minutes remaining in the frame. Helton trying to use that big body to his advantage. Going one-on-one near side with Steinbruick.
Look at Elijah Zeman just face guarding Bennett Matthews now, just following him everywhere he goes.
Luke Purnell swimming through 2 defenders. John Purnell couldn't handle the pass. It's on the turf. Helton is there with one hand to secure. Flips the pass back door. Purnell is open. Fakes the shot. Looks for Matthews on the curl. Can't get it up top. Pushed away. Another big hit there for John Purnell. And now a whistle against Bedford.
Interference. I'm going to give it to him.
We saw Elijah Zeman get laid out there. The sophomore, to his credit, able to bounce right back up.
And good for him. Covering Bennett like that, putting a little pressure on him and making him mishandle the ball.
Cardinals have played well, as the score indicates. Very little mistakes here on the attack, Roger. Not a lot of unforced errors or turnovers.
I think I have 1 unforced error on Guertin, and that's it.
Up top, step down shot. Kahn is ready. Swallowed up the Bo Dubois hat trick attempt. Save number 7.
This is where Ethan's got to start making decisions quickly here. And a lofty pass again.
Intercepted. Second pickoff for McLeod. The long pole gets rid of it. Warren for King. King shot and score. First half hat trick for Owen King. And BG starting to pour it on now as the run continues. 7 unanswered, now a 7-goal lead.
I'm a little bit stymied right now. I don't care who you're playing against the Cardinals. The Cardinals are just putting it right to the floor right now. Nothing more you can say here.
Well, Bishop Guertin, they started the season as the unanimous number 1 in the coaches' poll. Bedford siphoned a few votes away from them in week number 2 after BG fell in an opening night out-of-state loss at St. John's Prep. Since then, they've won 4 straight. They're still atop the poll, and they're still undefeated against in-state competition and have been since 2019.
Lots of errors happening out there now. They're just on their heels.
Colin Foley gets
that's
to
on
it.
The head.
The long pole able to duck a big hit attempt there. Cardinals look to clear out of their own end. Steinbruick is going to get a timeout from the visitor sideline as Coach Cameron uses his first charge timeout with 3:23 to go before halftime.
And just lots of errors on the Bulldogs. Stuff that's really not in their character. At least hasn't been for the last 2 or 3 years out there. Dropped passes. Getting a little lackadaisical when they're running out there with the ball and they're getting caught from behind. Dropping the ball right on the crease. I mean, you can go on here. You can count the mistakes yourself by watching here, but
some of that
they're going to clean it up.
Some of that has been as a result of the Bishop Guertin pressure.
Yeah, absolutely, not taking a thing away from the Cardinals. I mean, they're doing what the Cardinals generally do. Right. When they're riding and they're playing defense, and I'm sure Coach Cameron, both of them over there, are very pleased with what they're seeing out there right now.
12-5, Bishop Guertin. Reminder, if you have not done so already, like and subscribe our YouTube channel. Friday Night Lights New Hampshire on YouTube. FNLNH Media is the channel. FNLNH Media. Like and subscribe. You'll be good to go for the rest of the season. We've got a busy week on both the boys and the girls front. Tomorrow, Roger, we're in Portsmouth again to see a D2 power in the Clippers take on perennial D1 contender Exeter. That's a Seacoast rivalry and should be a fun one tomorrow at 6:30.
Next to this game, year to year, that is my favorite game.
Quite a statement.
Every year, I mean, there was an overtime win, last second win, I think, 2 years ago, 2023.
Last year, I think, was a one-goal game, right?
Yeah, and last year was a barn burner, too. And those two teams, they're right next to each other, literally, and they love just beating the snot out of each other, it seems. And it's a great game. It always is.
Exeter and Portsmouth tomorrow night at 6:30. Meanwhile, 3 minutes to go until halftime. Coming up at halftime, stats, highlights, analysis, out-of-town scoreboard. Got a final to report in Division 1. All that coming up at the break. BG has scored 7 straight goals. They're going to turn it over here, though, an off-ball violation.
Yeah, and Bedford in zone. So now they force some confusion again on the Cardinals' end, and they get the ball back. So maybe that's the key here, but they got to settle in.
Helton on the clear, offers up a rock. It won't go, but there's the rebound for Evan Capello. Capello, right place, right time. Found himself on the doorstep for his first goal. The Bentley commit stops the Cardinal run at 7 and brings Bedford back within 6.
But let's be clear. Brody Helton shooting from 16, 15 yards out is not going to get it done against the Cardinals. Thankfully, the Bulldogs get a good rebound right back to Capello, and this time the attackman handles it and puts it home, which stops the bleeding here at the, 6-goal run by the Cardinals here?
7.
7?
It was a 5-5 tie late in the first quarter. BG led 6-5 after 1. And the high water mark came a moment ago with a 12-5 lead. Since then, Bedford gets 1 back. But here's another BG face-off win for Apollo Vasquez, who has been dominant in this first half. And now BG hoping to cash back in. Jeremy Warren to McGarry. McGarry's been the star so far, 4 goals. McGarry back on the wing, quick pass.
Back in zone for the Bulldogs.
Warren. Who's that down there? 21. That's Jackson Warren. So we've got Jeremy and Jackson on the field together. 21 and 22 in green and gold. There's Jeremy Warren.
I get the sense that the Cardinals were almost playing this as a practice possession, how to break a zone here. They're not being real aggressive, and they are finding their spots.
King eventually fires a tough angle shot that ends up out of bounds, but you're right, already taking up nearly a minute off the clock.
Yeah, and I'm okay with this if I'm Brian Cameron. I would just continue to do this and just try to work this zone over, find the seams, get some movement on the Bulldog side, and they're moving well too. Don't get me wrong. The Dogs are doing their part.
As a result, we've got a bit of a stalemate here on this trip as we head down to a minute to go.
Yeah.
And a timeout?
Must be. Yeah, that must be a timeout because they didn't have a stall going there. So
timeout BG. So both teams have now spent 2 timeouts each and are left with none remaining.
And I think this is a good timeout. I mean, just like I said, you're using this kind of, hey, let's try to, maybe we're not seeing a lot of zone. They played Concord the other day. Concord's, famous for running zone in and out on their end. But, this is a good time to say, let's try this play. We did this in practice, preseason. Let's run a zone buster. Let's see if we can find that seam. Maybe get some new guys out there, okay, that can shoot from the outside. Maybe they're going to key in on Cam Hayden, who can fire away. Bo Dubois can fire away from the outside. Try to find that overload right on that seam, maybe up on the top or on the side on the wing, and see what you can find.
Been a balanced attack for BG in this first half. 4 goals for McGarry. Yeah, McGarry has led the way there, but right behind him, Owen King with 3. Dubois has scored a pair, and Cam Hayden has scored 2, including 1 on the EMO. For Bedford, they've been led by Bennett Matthews, who is the high man with 2 goals.
Yeah, ironically, all 4 of those goal scorers were on the card last year.
Yeah. All right, out of the timeout, even strength.
There it is, little Cam Hayden fake.
Instead, they've set up McGarry's shot is knocked down by Kahn. Ground ball goes to Matthews, and he wants to take off. Final minute, first half. Matthews in a crowd being hounded by 3 defenders. Looks for breathing room. The trailer is Helton. Helton takes the pass and is slowed down now by the approaching Dubois.
Well, was not surprised to see Cam Hayden end up with that ball at the commencement of the timeout.
Another save for Kahn. His total is up to 8.
There it is.
Meanwhile, pretty. Well, there is Brody Helton. Able to tiptoe his way through the BG defense. Scores for the first time to make it 12-7.
And I would tell you that I like that call there because Brody's a big kid, and sometimes you just got to take it to the rack yourself, whether it's him or Bennett or one of the other guys the Bulldogs rely on for offense. You just got to try and get something started, and that's going to do it. Another violation on Dylan.
Seen that a few times in this first half.
That's his second of the quarter and his third of the half.
Vasquez continues to provide an advantage for Bishop Guertin. Can the Cardinals cash in over the final 20 seconds? Their lead has been cut to 5. They played with the lead throughout most of this first half. Down to 10 seconds. Ponto looking to make a move. 2 passes later, it's King. Backdoor, Warren over the shoulder. Saved by Kahn.
No, I don't think it ever made it.
It may not have, but either way, snubbed out by Bedford collectively as they kill off the final seconds of this first half. 12-7 Bishop Guertin. The champs are still the champs. They're still out in front with a comfortable lead at halftime on the road here. A 5-goal deficit at 12-7. At one point in that first half, BG looked like they were going to run away with it, scoring 7 straight to build up a 7-goal lead. Bedford gets the final 2 before halftime. Still some light at the end of the tunnel for the Bulldogs, but a lot of work to do.
A lot of work to do, and they got to go into the halftime break here and really get settled and get refocused on what their goal was when they came out here today. Hopefully they can listen to their coach and kind of buckle down on things.
Coming up, stats, highlights, and analysis from that first half, full recap, and a look at the out-of-town scoreboard as well. 12-7, Bishop Guertin leading Bedford at the break. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school varsity and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another athletic program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
Halftime here at Bulldog Stadium. Bedford trailing Bishop Guertin by a score of 12-7. In our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, we're presented by Beals Insurance. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe. Well, Bedford got started on the right note. John Purnell scored just over a minute in to make it 1-0 Bulldogs in this rematch of last year's Division I state championship game. BG went on a quick early run after that, 3 in a row from Bo Dubois, Cam Hayden, and Sean McGarry. Made it 3-1. Bedford came back to tie, back-to-back goals from Bryce Durso and Bennett Matthews. That was about midway through that first quarter. Then back and forth. Michael Ponto put BG back in front 4-3. Matthews evened it again with his second goal, 4-4 at that point. And McGarry's second came just over 3 minutes to go in that first quarter. 5-4 BG, 5-5 after Luke Purnell scores a shorthanded goal for BG. Then for Bedford. Then BG goes on a 7-0 run, bridging the first and second quarters. Goals from Owen King, another by McGarry. That was shorthanded as well. Cam Hayden on an EMO made it 8-5. King again, 9-5 at the midway point. And then bang, bang, bang as McGarry scores 6 seconds later to create a 10-5 advantage. Dubois is heard from again just 14 seconds after that. All in all, 3 goals in 20 seconds. 11-5 BG. King another with inside of 4 minutes to go. And that was the high water mark for the Cardinals, 12-5 at that point. Bedford does put together 2 in a row in the final 2:39. Evan Capello on a rebound, and then Brody Helton in a crowd to make it 12-7 at halftime. Shadows starting to grow long here over the turf field at Bulldog Stadium as the sun begins to set. We're past the bottom of the 6 o'clock hour. Any big-time adjustments game plan-wise, Roger, that you foresee to begin the second half?
Yeah, Bedford's got to clean it up on defense. They got to be more tenacious, and they've got to stop mishandling the ball when they have it on offense. They've got to start putting it in the net.
And how about for BG? More of the same.
They're not doing anything wrong. I mean, they're perfect on clears, so I have nothing to say. I mean, they're doing what they need to do out there.
They're going to start this third quarter with possession as well. Paulo Vasquez dominant in that first half.
One thing I did notice, we talked about Bryson Durso. He hasn't been on the field since, and I don't see him on the bench. So I don't know if there's a disruption in his game agenda tonight, but don't see a number 11 on the Bulldogs bench right now.
He scored a goal for Bedford in that first half. Also took a shot in which he was lifted head over heels, landed hard, drew a Cardinal penalty.
I guess we're going to give him a clear on that one.
Bedford ends up with it. It's Parker Gupta, the senior, behind the cage, and now a whistle. And some kind of a violation, an offside maybe? I don't know.
Got to be, yeah. No, because Dylan Riccio was on sides. Not sure.
It was away from the ball, and it's a moot point because the Cardinals have it.
But yeah, Capello's not out there right now. You made the call, and now they're offsides, way offsides.
And look out, Colin Foley is shaken up for Bishop Guertin. Yep. Still down at midfield. Now a flag does come. Ponto's going to score on the run. A knockdown after the shot by Helton, so a lot to sort through here.
You could see an illegal or a unsportsmanlike hit here after the.
The immediate attention is on Foley, who is now back on his feet but hobbling his way towards the Cardinal sideline.
Yeah, and so the Dogs were offsides, clearly, and that was Parker Gupta who went offsides, but then he gave Foley a little shot there, and then there was a late hit after the goal down there on Ponto. So, yeah, let's see what the sort is. Nothing? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, no penalty. They're going to pick up the flag after the BG goal.
So the offsides held as the only flag out there, and it was a technical, so the goal negated that.
Ponto scores his second. Cardinals by 6 once again at 13-7. Bedford helps their cause by winning the faceoff. Good job by the sophomore Dylan Riccio. And now it's Helton here on the wing, hoping to get his club's offense going here in the second half. Easier said than done against this vaunted championship Cardinal defense. Here's Matthews. He did blaze the trail for Bedford with 2 goals in that first half. Going to drop his shoulder, going to fire a bouncer for his 3rd, and bring Bedford back within 5 at 13-8. Well, that's what he can do. The Duke commit goes one-on-one there, using that physicality to his advantage to score goal number 3.
Yeah, and he's going against Noah Guerrera, and he's no slouch defender for sure, going to Florida Tech next year. And he still gets him to the rack, and that bounce shot, you might see that on a poster someday with Nike underneath it or something, because he's patented that last couple years. He's done very well with that move.
It's been outstanding. He's a 3-year varsity starter on both the lacrosse and football teams here at Bedford.
Dylan's still having his trouble at the violations. I have him for 4 violations this game so far.
Trying to get any advantage he can on Vasquez, but the officials have been right there.
That's what Paulo does?
Yeah.
That's what he makes you anticipate. Nice.
Little give and go, frees up King, waved away by Kahn for save number 10. Ground ball, though, goes to King. BG keeps it at this end. Going to cycle it back up top for Hudson Schmidt. Far side wing, it's McGarry. He's been the goal-scoring leader for BG tonight with 4 goals.
This is my favorite set when the team goes into zone. I like 1-4-1. It opens things up, and it makes you shoot outside like that.
And was that saved?
Yep.
Looked like Kahn able to wave the wand at the last moment to just get a piece.
Yeah, I think he did get it with his hand here. Oh, off his stick.
Yeah, tip of the stick.
Yeah.
Tip of the head.
Off something.
Yeah, I think that might have been a pole. Matthews, the ground ball. Matthews. Sorry, that's Helton. Or no, it was Riccio. Yeah. Either way, Bedford gets the clear. Good job by the defenseman. Now here's Matthews trying to direct traffic with the offhand.
This is what they need. They need
Comes
some energy
off the
there.
Screen, shot a little wide, but had enough room there from straight away.
Yeah, get your guns out there and start running. Okay, you got to do something to wear down the BG defense. And if it isn't physicality with hitting and things like that, you're just going to have to keep running it. They've got guys that can handle the ball, so they need to start putting that emphasis on it. Good turn.
It's Helton. Tough angle shot, ends up as a bouncer out of bounds, far side. John Purnell the closest to it to keep it with the Bulldogs.
Yeah, one more step and that might have seen some success, especially if you had gone low.
Here's John Purnell. Get the scoring started way back. Just over a minute gone by in the first quarter. Helton tried to go chest high there. Feliciano was ready the whole time.
Hey, time to mix it up, Brody. Time to mix it up, buddy.
Pass ends up at midfield. Dunsmore with room, going to clear it for BG. And now with 4 minutes gone by, third quarter, Cardinals hoping for a little more breathing room. They've kept Bedford at arm's length so far with a 13-8 lead. Give and go, King thought about it, feathers it back to the top instead. Now Hayden is given plenty of room.
Watch this 1-4-1 materialize here if they go into it. Just creeping in. There's Ponto. He's going to complete the 4.
Ponto on the far wing. Make that McGarry. Head on a swivel.
Good movement.
Looks up with Dubois. King behind the net. Jeremy Warren. Cardinals have shown patience. They offer a firing shot there. No. Rebound. No. Oh, to the shoulder. It's Owen King, and the third time is the charm.
Wow.
King somehow found his spot out in front of the crease, and now the officials are going to say no, he was in the crease. We get a look there. Keep an eye maybe on that right foot. As the first one goes off the crossbar, the second waved away by Kahn, and then over the shoulder.
He might have been, yes.
Looks like they're going to wave that off. So no goal for King. The score remains 14-8 with 5 minutes gone, but that Cardinal ride forces another Bedford giveaway.
And there was no reason for that pass. They just need to start running, babe. Come on.
The Bulldogs trying to argue it was tipped. And apparently that
They're
argument
gonna win it.
is going to persuade the officials. I thought they signaled initially Cardinal possession, but no, it's Bedford ball.
Yeah, it had to be a tip over here when
Yeah.
it landed, not when it was launched. So I need to know what's going on with Capello. No Evan Capello out there. And no number 2 on the bench as far as I can see.
Parker Gupta is taking his spot. Gupta out in front is hit on the release, and a flag is thrown. That may be a penalty against BG.
It's going to be, no, McCaffrey overrules Small on this one, and he's going to call it just a push. No infraction. So just, yeah, because it was from the side. It wasn't quite from the, and he didn't have possession, really. He shot the ball.
So Steinbruick going to stay on the field despite leveling that big hit.
Yeah.
And we stay at even strength as we near the midway point third quarter. Bedford's got a chance here to crawl back within 4.
And I give the officials credit there for making that right call. Watch the crease. Wow.
John Purnell knocked off balance as he offered that one up. Feliciano ready for his 5th save.
He's going to launch one. Oh, nice pass.
Yep. Completes it to the long pole. McLeod, McGarry. Backdoor for King. Never quite had it. Bobbled on the doorstep. And there's Riccio with the long pole for Bedford. Fires a bounce pass back to Kahn, who has it in crease, and now his outlet goes over the head of the intended target, Abendroth, but is kept inbounds. On a good play there, and there's your boy Capello.
There he is, okay.
Who is back on the field for Bedford.
Yeah, no. Tough not to see him out there with that attack if they're down with D'Urso as well.
So good to see him back on. Again, he had a rebound goal late in that first half for Bedford. Here's Matthews. Got a hat trick individually, trying to will his team back. That shot again draws iron. Ball's going to ricochet back to midfield before Helton could sweep it up with one hand.
I think that went off the post.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, the way that bounced out so far.
Off the screen, John Purnell coming downhill, split dodge, knocked down, flag comes out.
That's legit.
So this time we will see a Bishop Guertin penalty. It comes with just inside of 5 minutes to go, third quarter.
Yeah, I think they're going to call a hold on this. It's only going to be 30, and that's going to be on Steinbruick.
Get a look at that shot a moment ago. It did appear like it hit either the crossbar or the pole. Seen a lot of those today. Here's another shot. This one goes inside for the score. It's Matthews. Well, Bedford goes to work on the EMO right away. Matthews has now scored 2 straight, 4 total. And Bedford is back within 4 for the first time since midway through the second quarter.
Well, what do you know? We got all kinds of yellow on my scorecard here for goals with penalties. 2 were shorthanded, and 1 is a man up here for the Bulldogs finally.
Yep. That equals the EMO goal from BG in the second quarter.
Look at that face-off.
It's a win for Dylan Riccio, the youngster. Sophomore gets it upfield.
This is it.
Pulled in by Gupta. He's going to get it over to Hilton.
That is just what the Bulldogs needed here.
Going to build some momentum. A goal here would make it 3 straight. BG led by as many as 7. That was late in the second quarter. Bedford a couple of goals before halftime. Michael Ponto for the visitors scored to begin this third quarter. But since then, Matthews back-to-back goals, the last one coming on an EMO. And as we near 4 minutes remaining third quarter, Bedford trying to make it a 3-goal game again. Purnell knocked down. That's Luke Purnell.
Watch this isolation with Bennett Matthews. Watch the Bulldogs rise up into the box. Give him some space. See if they can draw a quick slide here.
Backdoor pass is too close to the net there as John Purnell was in the crease. The officials blow the whistle, give it back to the Cardinals.
Very little ride opportunities here. Bulldogs are really kind of sloughing off on that.
Bishop Guertin back to work. They have not scored, Roger, in over 7 minutes now since the Ponto goal.
Yeah.
Coach Cameron hoping for his club to reestablish a 5-goal lead here. BG has won 4 in a row coming in. They have not lost to an in-state opponent since 2019. Bedford was close last year in the state championship. And trying to close the gap here in the second half on their home field. BG has shown patience throughout the game, including on this possession. That shot from straight away won't happen. As DuBois swallowed up by Kahn. Kahn with now a dozen saves unofficially for the Bulldogs. The clear has been a challenge. This BG ride has given Bedford everything they had.
This is how they're going to have to do it tonight, right here.
Helton is going to do it himself. With a couple of seconds, I assume, to spare across his midfield.
Yeah, I got the Cardinals perfect on their clears tonight. Bedford 6 for 10. And that's been a hard-earned 6.
John Purnell for Matthews. Matthews with room. Step down shot is a bullet. Whizzes past the goaltender's head, out of play. Bedford will have it. Matthews, the Duke commit. Two-way star for Bedford. He's a standout receiver, as we know, in the fall on the football team. Luke Purnell lost it. May have been poked away from behind. It crosses midfield, and it's turned over.
Those are the errors that the Bulldogs can't afford to continue to make.
Meanwhile, Duaney at full speed finds Jeremy Warren unguarded behind the cage. King back up top for Hayden. 2 minutes to go, third quarter. Well, we've seen over the years, Roger, BG really be so masterful in those closing moments of a quarter. Could be danger time here for Bedford, trailing by 4.
Well, I think if you're the Cardinals, you really want to pop a couple here because so far Bedford has owned this quarter, I think.
Bulldogs have outscored BG 2-1. Step down shot, that one off target. As McGarry tried to feather it through low. We're left with 99 seconds to go in the quarter. Warren for Hayden. Up top for King, going to survey. Junior going to sidestep, get rid of it to McGarry.
And again, Dogs are back in zone, and the Cardinals are trying to work this 1-4-1 and find their openings.
That's been a second half adjustment, right, for Coach Gondro?
Yeah, he was in zone towards the end.
A little
of the
bit
second.
of that second quarter.
Yeah, and he's been exclusively in it since then. And at least the Cardinals came out in the second half with a new set. And again, I like these 1-4-1 sets. They're kind of morphing out of it right now, just to try and slow it down for last shot, perhaps. But yeah, the cutter's down. Classic.
Warren up top, DuBois bouncer. That one too high and hard, out of play. 46 seconds to go.
Yeah, this is one of the mishaps when you get into a zone, too, is that you start to fall asleep. And they can't afford to leave guys on the corners or up top open like that because you're sloughing off on the zone. You got to stay static here. Stay disciplined in your spots.
30 seconds. Cardinals in no hurry. Warren's going to look over his shoulder at the clock. Down to 25 seconds. Still unguarded behind that cage.
They're going to go for last shot. Watch the crash towards the crease, and then watch the flow upward to the top.
Hayden.
Oh, you got to move.
Dodges, bouncer. They've been deflected, out of play. Stay with BG. They've got 9.5 seconds to work with. Warren, Hayden, quick shot. And again, too wide. 5.5 seconds left. Jeremy Warren ready. On the wing, McGarry thought about it. Up top, Ponto couldn't secure it. Loose ball. Bedford gets to it. And that will do it for the third quarter. Big hill to climb for Bedford to begin the half. They've chipped away a little bit. They're within shouting distance as we head to the fourth quarter. 13-9 Bishop Guertin. Do the Cardinals remain undefeated against in-state competition, or does Bedford come back to slay the dragon? We find out next. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Start of the fourth quarter here in Bedford. Bishop Guertin leading Bedford 13-9 in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. That's a look at that Cardinals sideline. That has been the standard in Division I and really in the state of New Hampshire for the better part of now 2 decades. They've won 4 straight state championships, all undefeated against in-state competition. The last time they were beaten by a New Hampshire opponent was in the 2019 NHI AA D1 final, the championship matchup against Pinkerton. Speaking of the championship matchup, these two teams met last year. Bedford gave them all they could handle, but in the end, the Cardinals went away with the trophy again, a record 13th for then head coach Chris Cameron, who's somewhere in that green pile a moment ago. He's now one of the assistants under his son, first-year head coach Brian Cameron. So far, so good for the Cardinals here on the road. They led by as many as 7 late in that second quarter. Since then, a little bit of a momentum shift, Roger, in Bedford's favor. They're within quote-unquote shouting distance here with 12 minutes to go. Still work to do, but trailing 13-9.
Yeah, it can be done, and it's all about ball control at this stage and mistakes. Not making the mistakes on defense and when you are handling the ball on offense. Pretty simple, but you got to execute.
Easier said than done against Bishop Guertin.
No doubt.
Cardinals have dominated really not just at times, but throughout the game. Latest total is what, Roger?
We got 18. That'll be 19 for Paulo against 6 for Dillon. It was actually a wash in that third quarter. They were both 2 for 2.
You know, the Cardinals seen their offense dry up a bit. Scored the first goal of the third quarter, just over a minute in, but have not scored since.
Zone is causing problems for them. And as long as the middle 2 guys, in this case Dylan Riccio and Matthews, can be disciplined with their up and down movements, they should really be able to stymie anything on the outside like that.
That's a pass that gets away from Ponto and it's turned out of bounds. Turned over out of bounds at midfield.
Yeah, they're having a real problem with this zone. And thankfully, Bedford is rising to the occasion with their discipline and staying in that 3-3 set.
Meanwhile, the Bulldogs trying to find the appropriate ball to get the restart going. And now I guess we're good. Here's Brody Helton. Been a star for Bedford for the last couple of seasons. Cardinals have done a good job on him tonight, particularly the man there in the frame of the shot. That's defender Andre Steinbrueck, who did get hit with a penalty, but he's held Helton to just 1 goal. He's going to knock him down on a tough angle shot here. Ball is backed up in the corner by Capello, and Bedford will restart.
See a lot of this season with Bennett.
They got an illegal screen here. I think a moving pick against Capello. Cardinals will take it. Long outlet pass is elusive for the long pole, Tyler McLeod. But he eventually stabs it at midfield for the clear.
I am not a big advocate of vacating the field when the other team is clearing, and that seems to be what the Bulldogs are conceding. They want to get Bennett and Brody off the field if they're out there on the offensive side, and just concede the clear to Cardinals.
McGarry tried to go upstairs there, to end up flying on him a bit, out of bounds.
That was launched. I don't think I've ever seen a shot hit the roof of the utility shack. I've been here since day 1 of this stadium.
Another outside shot ends up wide. Meanwhile, McGarry did most of his damage tonight, all of it, from a goal-scoring perspective in the first half at 4 at halftime.
All right, you're starting to see the Bulldogs getting a little bit undisciplined here. They're breaking down out of this set.
Starting to challenge a bit on the perimeter out of the zone, you mean?
They're not staying in their slots. When you're
Okay.
in zone, you got to stay in your up and down and back and forth slots, and it's just in these it's like that. In these transitional spots, they're not getting back and staying and remaining static. So it leaves Owen King wide open there.
Owen had a goal of his waved off in the third quarter. He's going to definitely score here. And King now has 4 goals.
And you can just see that the formation's just in. Is this because Capello ended up on defense? It is. So Capello got caught back on that lower left-hand side, and that was the weak link in the zone.
Second goal for the Cardinals since halftime. Another face-off win for Paulo Vasquez. Feliciano going way out of the cage. Had to,
good stretch.
Yeah, stretch out full extension to reel that pass in. Then his
that's
outlet.
a push.
Helton on the ground.
Wow.
Dubois ends up crossing midfield. Now gets inside the defender, draws a slide, but his pass is too high for King and turned back over to Bedford. Little helter-skelter there for a moment, but the Bulldogs will take it. They get it back 3 minutes in, down 5.
Yeah, and they finally left Brody Helton out there on the ride, and he actually caused a commotion and almost got the ball back. So you can't vacate all guys out of there.
Meanwhile, Matthews on the one-man clear for Bedford. Gets it to Capello. Now behind the cage it goes. 2 men behind the net, including Gupta here. Being driven away by Foley. Good to see Foley back on the field. He took a vicious hit.
Yeah, he did.
At midfield earlier in the game, but he's out there. Meanwhile, here comes Brody. Helton to the middle. Star-studded junior trying to free himself up, but Steinbruick is not giving an inch.
No, he's played well tonight.
Now Capello, a little bit of room, goal line extended. Bedford really being pushed to the margins here. This defense has been aggressive. Matthews picks up a new man off the switch. Nice. Backdoor over the shoulder to Helton, who does the rest. Oh, pretty. Helton. As soon as he caught that one, you knew where it was going. Into the net. A gorgeous behind-the-back assist by Matthews to bring Bedford within 4.
All right. Hey, Ben, you got to clip this because we want this as our leader. We can take out the Arbusto one and put in this one. This is just so pretty. I mean, how the hell did he even know he was there? It almost looked like it was scripted.
That's that chemistry.
Yeah.
Right? That comes with players who have played together for years. Both of these guys are now 3-year varsity starters.
Exactly. It just it's amazing how the radar just kind of connects, doesn't it?
2 of the most highly touted players really in program history. Again, Matthews is going to Duke, and Helton is on his way to Rutgers. They won't arrive until the fall of 2026.
Yeah. Anybody out there that is affiliated with the Bulldogs program, if there were 2 D1 commits in the same class, I'd be missing it right now, but I don't think so.
And of course, BG, they're used to that. They have multiple D1 commits every year, including this year.
Yeah.
Fed across, Hayden. That one right idea going low, but a little too wide as we near 5 minutes gone by fourth quarter.
And I'm surprised to see Capello out there on defense. They're running an attackman on both ends of the field here, and don't see John Purnell. Is John back in there on attack, Nick? Number 1?
No, I don't see him.
That's why.
This one is loose in front of the cage, and Kahn with inches to spare, able to put out the fire. Boy, Kahn is impressive at times, Roger. He really is. 13 saves today. He's made his mistakes in the clear game, etc., but saves like that has kept Bedford in the game.
Yeah, and I've been touting and pumping his tires on his ability to play goal for the last 2 years. Yeah, he's an excellent goaltender.
Meanwhile, this one turned over.
We got a brush here.
The official's going to change the call. It was a foot race, neck and neck.
There was a brush on the path.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a brush. He called the brush.
So Bedford has it as we near the midway point fourth quarter. Meanwhile, trying to free himself up. Backdoor shot. Tipped.
All right,
just wide. Capello a good look there. Now we get a stoppage Again, there's a penalty flag on the far side of the field.
Yeah, it's going to be a push on Guerrera. 32nd.
It's Noah Guerrera, one of the 6 captains for Bishop Guertin, the senior on his way to Florida Tech. That's the 3rd Cardinal penalty of the day as well, or 4th?
3rd, you're
3rd,
right.
Yep.
Call it.
So can Bedford cash in? Each team with an EMO goal so far today.
What is...
Got a flag here.
Now that's McCaffrey's flag, so...
You tend to trust that.
Definitely.
Backdoor Capello, nope. Feliciano a kick save.
Off the...
And then Matthews from straight away. Can't put home the rebound, and now Bedford. But the pass knocked down. Helton does recover on that far wing. Finds Matthews, eye on the cage, but not on the ball. Dropped it. And is forced to retreat now, trying to clear out some room behind the cage for himself with 5.5 to go in this 4th quarter. Helton up top, closed out by the long pole. Good defensive effort by Elijah Zeman, and then it's Feliciano on the save. Purnell on the rebound for Bedford. Matthews, a spin move, trying to dance away on the far wing. And now the reset button is pushed. Meanwhile, Feliciano has gotten better as the game has gone on, at least my opinion.
Yes, indeed.
Now it's 7
Oh,
goals. Can't
again.
stop that one, though. Pretty. It's Helton. Over the shoulder, almost a no-look offering there to bring Bedford back within 3.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that the big guy had those kind of moves with the arms, but man, that's twice back-to-back with the...
Second EMO goal for Bedford as well.
Yeah. No, I think that was out. They were 6-on-6 there.
Oh, that was out? Okay.
Yeah, they were 6-on-6.
Must have been just barely.
Yeah. Well, and I was doing the count, so...
Either way, back-to-back goals for Matthews. And 4 of the last 5 have been scored by Bedford overall. Riccio looking for help on the wing.
He's on the line.
And do we have offsides
He's
here?
off the line, yeah.
Yep.
He's on the line, absolutely.
That
Good call.
McGarry was about a foot over.
He was on the line, which is out.
So McGarry, no argument from the youngster. Bedford a quick restart with the pole, Cam Santos, the sophomore. Who hasn't played much tonight, but here he is in crunch time. Inside of 5 minutes, Bedford's within 3, closest they've been since early in the 2nd quarter. Bedford trailed by as many as 7. Both teams looking for their 5th win of the season, week number 3 statewide, in a rematch of last year's Division I state championship game. Whistle. And now a flag.
Oh, you're going to throw unsportsmanlike.
It appeared like Helton said something to the official that drew his ire. We had a whistle, communication between player and official, and then a flag was thrown.
Yeah, unsportsmanlike.
So Helton makes a mistake there. Going to hang his head in the penalty box. He's played well tonight, especially in this 4th quarter. His first penalty comes with 4:24 to go in this 4th period.
Yeah, that's going to be a momentum killer right there.
See if the Cardinals can make them pay. BG just 2 goals in the second half after exploding for 12 in the first half. Hoping the man advantage can help break the ice a little bit. McGarry didn't quite have the angle, passes on the shot. They reverse it to the far side. Now behind the cage, Hayden on the wing, step down. King, shot saved by Kahn. Outlet, though, goes astray, out of bounds. Was it tipped? It was. I think it'll stay with Bedford.
Okay. Bedford needed that one.
3:47 to go. Again, there's a problem along the sideline trying to retrieve a ball. And now we are, I guess, set to resume. John Purnell given the green light. And Matthews takes over in dialogue here with Purnell. The two converge on the wing. Purnell flashes open, steps down, shot, saved by Feliciano. Going to fish it out of the air as well. 8 saves now for the junior goaltender, Jonah Feliciano. And again, BG going to take their time on the clear. Hayden flashes open at midfield. Hayden coming down the middle. Hayden to his right. He's going to circle back around with plenty of room to spare. And with no shot clock, as we know, in the NHIAA, Cardinals are free here to work the clock as it ticks down towards 3 minutes to go. Coming up after the game, stats, highlights, analysis, full recap. Out-of-town scoreboard on the way as well. Big battle between Wyndham and St. Thomas. We'll get to that. Plus a preview of tomorrow's broadcast. We're back at it on the Seacoast, Exeter at Portsmouth. That's a 6:30 start.
Still waiting for an update on that Longmeadow and Pinkerton game, too.
That's right.
Yeah, nothing out on the Twitter sphere.
Pinkerton, the only D1 team left undefeated.
Yeah.
Through 2.5 weeks of action.
Yeah, big 6-0 on the season so far, maintaining that number 1 spot.
2.5 to go. Well, Bedford's almost got to now come out and make it happen, right, defensively here?
Yeah, I don't know if they have practiced a 10-man on this season, but getting to be about that time.
Hayden pushed out here by Boyd. Trying to force him all the way to the sideline. A rainbow skip pass handled off the bounce. It's Ponto, full speed to the middle. Trying to free himself up. Never quite had the shooting room. Good play by Abendroth.
I think that was programmed.
Shot goes wide.
I think Ponto's a mature and smart enough player to know that Coach Cam doesn't want him going to the net right now. It's all about clock.
Speaking of, minute 45 to go.
Nice play.
Wide open Dubois. Breaks out of the pass. The pass is on time. And Dubois goes low for goal number 3. It's a hat trick. And it's a big momentum killer, Roger, as you alluded to. Cardinals take a 4-goal lead with just $1:42 to go.
And we talked about this about 12 minutes ago or so when we were in the third quarter. When you start to fall asleep on your defensive side, the guy on top is always there, not only as a backstop on everything to keep fast breaks from happening in transition, but to be the guy that's open.
Another win for Vasquez. Quick shot and a save for Kahn. It's 15th tonight.
He's been rising up.
Yep. Meanwhile, Boyd in trouble in his own end, had it stripped from behind. Vasquez still out there. Looks like he took a shot to the leg, lost his stick. We get a whistle here, and it's going to be BG possession.
They give it to Paulo. After he took that shot off the face-off and got dumped, he was just tenacious in wanting that ball back. So they give it to the Fogo.
Well, you know, any face-off guy has got some guts. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And he's not afraid of the contact right in the middle of the action. Look at that is right. It's Owen King. He's had a special night here tonight, Roger. He's been involved in the scoring. He's usually kind of a playmaker, right? A facilitator. He's taking more of an aggressive attempt tonight. Scores from a very difficult angle there to make it 16-11.
Well, you know, quietly as a facilitator, I guess. He's put 3 goals in the net in the final a year ago. And what's that tonight? That's
4.
4 for him, yeah. So, quietly put up 4. And he's got some apples. Yeah. And he's got some assists, too. Let's not forget about that. On the facilitation side, like you said.
Right.
He's connecting.
Very
They're
good.
not hockey assists. These are real deals.
Very good assist. And very good player overall. Lemoyne getting a good one. Just a junior, as we know. Yeah. Meanwhile, quick shot. Backed up by BG. We're inside the final minute here.
Lemoyne winning their conference, I believe, this year, too.
There's 2 BG Cardinals headed to Lemoyne. Owen King and Bo Dubois.
And there's a Bedford kid up there right now. Tristan Kerr's up there from Bedford.
That's right.
From last year.
Remember that vaunted defensive unit?
Oh, man.
It carried Bedford all the way to the state championship, but they came up short in that spot as BG defeated them 15-12. Cardinals out in front here 16-11, looking to run out the final 20 seconds or so. Getting inside, no help, and making you pay is Jack Redfern, the freshman. Comes from a big lacrosse family, as we know, and Redfern makes it 3 straight for his team in the final minute 42. It's now 17-11 with 17 seconds.
That one is going to be remembered come playoffs.
Number 41, Jack Redfern.
If these 2 teams meet again, which many across the state expect them to, I'm sure this game will linger in the minds of many. Riccio wins the faceoff for Bedford. Pass gets away from John Purnell. And with 8 seconds left, BG is going to run out the remainder of this clock and improve to 5-1 on the season and still undefeated against Division I competition. Bedford comes up short. Cardinals escape with a 17-11 victory. Coming up, full stats, highlights, analysis, out-of-town scoreboard, and more. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school varsity and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another athletic program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
17-11 is our final. Bedford falls to Bishop Guertin. Cardinals improve to 5-1. Bedford slips to 4-3. Nick Anastas along with Roger Howe with you. A rematch of last year's Division I state championship game and a highly anticipated matchup to kick off the month of May here in the state of New Hampshire. BG fell behind 1-0. John Purnell got the home team on the board less than a minute in. And it was one of the larger crowds we saw all season. They were amped up early, but BG got quick revenge. 3 straight from Bo Dubois, Cam Hayden, and Sean McGarry. Made it 3-1. Bedford battled back to make it 3-3. Bryce Durso, Bennett Matthews midway through that first quarter. Michael Ponto then put the Cardinals in front 4-3. His lone goal of the first half. Bennett Matthews, first of 2 for Bedford. His second for Bedford, comes at the 3:54 mark first quarter. Final minutes, McGarry for BG. Luke Purnell on a short hand goal for Bedford tied the game at 5, and then BG's longest run either way of the game, began late in that first quarter. Owen King scores to make it 6-5 BG after 1, and then it's McGarry, Hayden, King, McGarry, Dubois, King, in that order to set the bar at 12-5 in favor of the champs. Bedford in the final 2+ minutes before halftime get 2 back. Evan Cabello and Brody Helton both with their first. So it was a 12-7 BG halftime lead. Michael Ponto, his second, made it 13-7. Just over a minute gone by, third quarter. 13-7 BG. Then the Bedford defense switched things up a little bit. The offense seemed like they played with more confidence, and as a result started to chip away. Matthews, and then Matthews again. Second one coming on an EMO with about 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. That made it 13-9, and that was our score heading into the fourth quarter. King had a BG answer 3 minutes in, 14-9 at that point. Then Helton back-to-back. He does finish with a hat trick in the end. That is the closest Bedford would come, 14-11 with 5 minutes remaining. Final minute 42, BG tallies up 3 more. Dubois, King, and then the freshman Redfern 17-11 is the final. King ends up leading the way with 5 goals. I shortchanged him prior to break, but recalculated. He did end up with 5 goals to lead the way tonight for Bishop Guertin as they improve to 4-1. No, now 5-1 overall on the season.
Yeah, 5 goals, and I have him down for 2 assists. One with Dubois, his goal, and then one with Hayden's, the second goal of the game. The Bulldogs have got to understand that when you're playing a team of this caliber and of this talent level, which they've probably already seen with the Hingham and the Longmeadow games, is that you cannot make mistakes out there and not expect to pay for them. Secondly, you have got to be tenacious and have your complete heart and soul into all 48 minutes when you're out there on the field, and I did not see that from the Bulldogs tonight. The tenacity that the Cardinals bring to the game every single time they come out on the field just can't you can't overcome it unless you're trying to match that. And those mistakes, the poor clearing game and drop passes and things like that is really what hurt Bedford tonight.
Both teams will have a short recess before taking on 2 quality out-of-state opponents. Cardinals are going to travel south to take on Staples in Connecticut on Saturday afternoon. That's a 3 o'clock start. Bedford will host Westwood Saturday as well at 12:30. One other Division I score to report. This one was actually a cross-divisional matchup won by the D2 team. St. Thomas beats Wyndham 11-7.
Right.
So congratulations to the Saints there. And then still no word, Roger, from Pinkerton and Longmeadow?
Trying to scour the airwaves here, and our friend Joe doesn't even have an update. So
just radio silent.
Yeah, just radio silent. Nothing from Longmeadow either.
So we'll see.
We'll
see if Pinkerton stays undefeated, the only D1 team left unbeaten.
I just want to see how they do. It'll really be a measuring stick because obviously the Bedford team played Longmeadow, and Pinkerton has generally been on their schedule every year since the late 90s, early 2000s when Coach O'Reilly started that. So that's a good measuring stick for the state of New Hampshire in general to see what they can do against a team like Longmeadow.
Tomorrow we're going to see a D1, D2 cross-divisional matchup on the Seacoast, one of Roger's favorite games of the year. It's Exeter Portsmouth. That's a 6:30 start tomorrow. And, of course, we're all looking forward to that one.
Indeed. And love to see Coach Vish go against the Youngblood Brewster. And they've had some good battles over the last 3 years. So I'm expecting the same tomorrow.
All right. We'll see you then. I want to thank Corey Parker and his staff here at Bedford High, our friends at BCTV for sharing the space. And, of course, our hardworking crew, which includes dual videographers Kat Doyle and Matt Beals. And, of course, the whole thing orchestrated flawlessly by the man behind the curtain, the wizard of replay, our director, Ben Beals, back in the Beals Insurance Studios. Of course, the executive producer needs to be shouted out as well. That's the big man in the big chair, Steve Beals, here at Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. I want to thank my partner, Roger Howe. The pleasure was mine. Final score, my friend, final time. Bishop Guertin, 17. Bedford, 11. This has been a presentation of our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.